record. We're not starting yet, but can you record? I hope it's loud enough. That doesn't look like that's loud.
What?
Oh yeah, that's good. Let me just turn the gain a little.
Is it good?
Is she sticky because she doesn't? You're not supposed to like crank her on accident.
Is she
okay.
Sufficient enough?
I think that's
Huh? Did it
Sorry, I just Okay, it's too loud now. It's too loud. This shit.
I peek over and I just see.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna be.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, is it bad that I forgot how our intro went?
I'll try and gear us towards it. Okay.
It's been a while. We're rusty.
Welcome back to the Vampy Wampy Campy Podcast, where we vamp and you camp. I'm Steff Vampy.
I'm Sal Vampy.
And I'm Shay Wampy.
Yay!
Yay! So pitch your tent and
get ready to listen. Thank you for remembering the ending. I was just like gonna cheer and applaud us for forgetting like half of it.
I will always remember the last line. The rest of it out the brain.
Yeah. So pitch your tent and get ready to listen.
So
we're so good at
your
this.
Pitch your tent. Iconic. Can I say it?
Yes.
We really ate with that one.
We
cooked.
We cooked.
She's the girl.
So we have a few things to explain.
Oh, is it recording?
Yeah, we've been recording. Wait, was that supposed to be a test?
No, I thought you were testing. But no, it's fine.
No, that's it. That was it. That's what we're going to use. We're recording for like 5 minutes now.
Now that's a cold open.
I don't even know. Wait, you're recording?
We're so good at this, guys.
We're so good at our job.
Our job?
Yeah,
this could be a job.
If we've ever been paid for this show, it's been in like
pennies,
like a few buttons and a piece of string.
Yeah,
we've got a single like Japanese yen.
Yeah, just one. A peso.
A single peso.
A single peso is what we've been paid for this show.
We reach in our pockets and it's just lint and paper clips.
You like invert our pockets.
Yes, and a fly comes out.
So it's
paper clips.
It's really for the passion.
Yes.
If you guys were wondering.
Yeah. And I'm very passionate about what we've decided to review.
Yes.
Finally.
So let's do some housekeeping. Let's introduce, because I realize now, since there has what we're going to be talking about, and yours probably some of you already know it. Since there has been an accidental, at least on our part, resurgence, I think a lot of you are like they might have some more new viewers other than outside,
But it's also
for the Mabavers out there.
Maybe, yeah. It's also such an old show that it's on the fence on whether
But it's newer than Mabav, so that's why I'm like, I feel like I feel the need to explain. So for those who are tuning in for the first time, if we have any new Craigs out there, I don't know how that happened. I don't think we have.
I think it's because the actor.
Multiple times we've said we need to go back and find out what happened.
Yeah,
and we just never have.
Well, I know how we got the Craig Manning name. Yeah. I know how we got that, but how that became like some sort of fandom name, which I can't really understand hilarious. That we have a fandom. But
it's beyond my mind palace.
Yeah,
it needs to come in, but I'm not letting it.
So for any new Craigs out there, we are previously a My Babysitter's a Vampire podcast where we reviewed and. We haven't ranked. We were going to do that and we forgot.
Yeah.
I just realized that now.
I know.
Where we reviewed
that's why we're still here. We haven't fought to the death yet.
Yeah. That's the actual finale is when we get in the ring and we box until we die.
Yeah.
We all murder each other in the ring.
And whoever wins, well,
whoever wins is the one who dies first.
Yeah.
Because they get to reach eternal freedom.
Yeah. Whoever remains has to become the Urple guy in the server.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, notoriously, My Babysitter's a Vampire has very little episodes. Yeah. So even though it took us 2 years to review the entire show on accident, let me say, we still finished it.
We did.
Yeah. And we wanted to continue the podcast. We always were thinking of like other shows to do.
Yeah, and I kind of was big on doing this show.
Which is
Gravity Falls.
Yes, Gravity Falls. And we had mentioned how Gravity Falls essentially replaced Mabav on the airing on Disney Channel because I mean, Mabab isn't a Disney Channel show. We've already been over it.
Yes.
Catch up on the episodes.
But during one of the bumpers you showed us, they were advertising. What was it? The pilot, the first episode.
They were advertising
the premiere. That's the word.
The premiere episode, which we're going to review today, had aired immediately after an episode of My Babysitter's a Vampire. So they were sort of like anchoring the pilot to an already well-established and popular show, which was My Babysitter's a Vampire.
Supernatural related.
I don't know if him chomping is going to be picked up or not.
It adds charm.
Let's hope so.
It's just the goat.
Yeah, oh yeah, if you hear like some like chomping in the background, that's a goat chewing on Mabel's sweater.
It's a goat chewing on a gnome.
Yeah, on a gnome. Yes, when it's stuck in the plastic ring. Yeah, plastic. I wanted to preface that like, we have some Mabavers out there who were like, oh, so you're not going to talk about Mabab anymore. We probably still are.
Yeah, we'll mention it.
I have too much obsession and brain rot about Mabab specifically. By the way, I don't want to hear any of you fuckers out there. Sorry, I don't know why I got so mad. But I pronounce it Mabab, and I don't want to hear shit, okay?
We talked about this.
We've already talked about this.
I fear anyone who doesn't pronounce it as Mabab is wrong.
Yes. Mbav? Mabab? I say Mabab. It's like, whatever. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Mabab?
It's fine.
Mabab. You say it like you're tipping your hat to somebody
Mabab.
as an introduction. Mabab. Yes, we're reviewing Gravity Falls, and originally, I think this was always like the show we were gonna do, like in the back, but we were like kind of debating it.
We were juggling other options as well.
Yeah.
And I think the reason it was mainly me. I'll be honest. It was mainly me who was afraid in a certain way to review the show because I know nothing about Gravity Falls.
Well, that's how I went into Mabab.
So, and I realized that
we've come full circle.
The turns have tabled.
The tables have turned.
Okay, it's pretty much the opposite of how we started Mabab, like how Steff was the expert and me and Shay knew little to nothing. But this time, Shay is the expert. I'm still in the middle, and Steff knows nothing.
Yeah, because I think that I had to kind of like realize, like, well, I should really like be willing to not know everything about the show and still be able to talk about it and review it. Because I think I was like afraid, honestly. Like, I guess I'll say it. I'll admit it. I was like nervous.
Speak your truth.
This is therapy.
This is a therapy session.
Speak your truth, queen.
So, I'm very excited to learn more about Gravity Falls.
I mean, I don't know if we discussed it in like our first episode of the Mabab review, but like our relationship to the show kind of start like beforehand, sort of.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. We didn't outright say that like you didn't know how it ended, or like you didn't know much.
Still, like,
but we outright said like I have an encyclopedic knowledge of the show.
Yeah.
I might not be like encyclopedic knowledge level, but I know a lot because I've been following the show since it like aired, and I was like 10.
Yeah.
I was like 10 when it first aired.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've told this like the tidbit on the pod before, but like all the way until like the finale I was kind of into the show, except for like season 2. It took me a little bit to watch it because I didn't have Disney XD, because that was like an extra channel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was not included.
Yeah, so I didn't catch up on season 2 until I pirated it, but I sailed the high seas to kind of catch up for the finale, which me and my friend in like the 8th grade watched live, like together, and we're emailing each other our reactions during like the commercial breaks and
the
stuff.
The 2015ness of it all. Was it 2015?
It was 2016.
16.
Closer.
Yeah.
Wow,
So I was just telling Sal this before when you left, that the air dates and stuff are wild for this show, because it's only 2 seasons, it's 40 episodes, but it took 4 years to air the entire series.
Yeah, I thought it was 4 seasons because of that reason. Because there was because normally for a Disney Channel show,
they'll do a season a year.
A season, and the season is usually 20 episodes.
Yeah,
20
this
24.
one, this one with the production was a lot like slowed down, just because I think of how interwoven everything is like written in it.
Yeah,
well,
like
also,
they needed like the time to do that.
Yeah, and also you can charge less for a show, the creators that only has 2 seasons versus 4 seasons, even if it has the same amount of episodes.
Yeah.
So like season 3, like okay, we're gonna renew it for a season 3, and each season had 20 episodes. The people can renegotiate their contracts and be like, hey, we deserve to be paid more because this is a show that has 3 seasons, which means we know it's successful and it's bringing in a lot of money for the network. But like shows like networks on television, and especially Disney Channel and like Nickelodeon and stuff, they love to like do cost cutting measures like that, where they would like do a double season order.
Yeah, because like I think why a lot of people might think that there's like 4 seasons is because I think in both seasons there was like a point where it's like it aired semi consistently, like you get maybe like anywhere from 1 to maybe 3 3 at the most, depending on the thing, but like episodes a month,
Okay.
and then there'd be like a break,
So
and then it'd continue. So
I
like
think I remember that when it was airing.
because like in season 1, the air dates were June, July, August, September, and then 1 episode in October, and then it doesn't air episodes for months, and then comes back in February.
okay.
So I think that I'm pretty sure that happened in both like season 1 and season 2, so that might be why people think there's like 4 seasons of the show.
It essentially functioned. They essentially like aired the show each season like they were 2 separate seasons.
Yeah.
So that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's wild where the break in season 2 happens, because like where the break in season 2 happens, it's insane. I'm like
the cliffhanger they leave it on.
Yeah, I'm like, how did they survive?
How did people like wait for that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited because I have never. I don't even think I finished season 1, or at least even halfway through season 1.
Yeah.
I know very, very little about this show. I watched the episodes as they were airing. My brother was super into it, but I just never really watched it. I'll be honest. Like now that I'm thinking about it, like timeline wise, with the end of like Mabav stopped airing on Disney Channel. I'm saying Nickelodeon. Mabav stopped airing on Disney Channel, and I think it was like Sweet Life on Deck, because I loved Sweet Life, Zack and Cody, and the whole show. Made it like a 2-hour video on it. No big deal.
No big deal.
Just a casual sponsor.
Yeah. Sorry.
Spawn.
Just a little hashtag spawn over here. But as soon as like that show stopped airing, I think that was really what like kept me watching cable television, because I think at that point I finally had internet access in my house, and I like went full in on the whole watching YouTube. Like a lot of people our ages did. In like 2012, 2013, they watched a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, 2012, 2013, I was still like too young. I barely knew how YouTube worked. But like by the time 2016, when the show was kind of ending, that's when I was more familiar with the internet. But still, I wasn't super into the fandom. I really liked the show, but I wasn't super into the fandom.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm going to be doing, is like trying to research and track back a bunch of the big theories. And so that maybe as we go along, we could kind of talk about those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know about. Well, first of all, I do know about Bill. I do know who that is. I don't know anything really much about him.
Okay.
I think I've seen like the introduction video of Bill.
Listen, it's like you're on Tumblr.
Episode, I mean.
You're on Tumblr. Of course you know who Bill is.
And I go on Tumblr. Follow the podcast on Tumblr, by the way. Vampy Wampy Campy Podcast.tumblr.com. Spawn.
Whoa!
Wait, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Vampy Wampy Campy
Is
Podcast.
it Pampy Podcast?
No,
It's
Okay.
VWCP.
The Pampy came after after we created all the socials.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I forgot.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a rough few months.
it has been a long time.
Yeah.
So for clarification,
I don't have a job anymore. No, I'm kidding.
and you got your job when we were recording the
Yeah.
podcast. Anyways,
I don't have that job anymore, guys. So, anyways,
so-
I'm free.
Yeah.
freedom.
Not for long though. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, you know,
I gotta find another
the
one.
world.
Yeah.
But we had planned to do Gravity Falls, and I think we had a different structure because, again, I was spooked. I was afraid. We had plans to do a different structure, but we had planned to talk about Gravity Falls ever since before, maybe even before we watched season 2.
I think so.
I think maybe we
Pretty
were
early
like
on.
tossing it like around.
Pretty early on, we were like,
Like,
Gravity
what are we
Falls.
gonna do when we're done with Mabav?
I think we had discussed it around the time we did the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we did the movie in between season 1 and
Yeah.
2, and once we started talking about season 2, we were like, the end is near.
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
everyone feels when they watch season 2 of Mabav.
yeah.
It's like there's like this like
Yeah.
dread when you watch it.
Yeah,
You feel it in your
that's gonna
bones.
be me going into season 2 of the show.
Uh-huh.
The dread.
So
Yeah.
we had no And we had no idea, I had no idea especially, that like there was going to be this crazy resurgence on the internet.
No one
of
did,
Gravity
because
Falls.
it appeared out of nowhere. Like,
They released a new book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alex Hirsch released a new book, The Book of Bill, which I'm working on getting.
Alex Hirsch is the guy who created Gravity
Yes.
Falls. I'm assuming a lot of people know about the show already, watching this, but...
So Alex Hirsch is the creator of Gravity Falls. He also voices a bunch of characters. The most notable ones are Grunkle Stan, Zeus, and Bill Cipher.
I didn't know he voiced Bill.
Yeah, he voices
Okay.
Bill.
I don't know anything about Bill, so that's why I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's fine.
I haven't, it's been a while.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
you don't need to do anything.
Okay.
You'll find it out.
Oh, well, because you mentioned conspiracy theories. The reason why I said I know what Bill is,
okay.
I know about the square guy. What is his name?
Guy?
There was this theory that, because there was a listing for a character name, this is kind of getting into the weeds a bit, but there's a listing for a character name called, like, Normal Man or something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And they thought it was going to be, like, Bill Cipher's, like, brother, and he was going to be a purple square.
Oh.
I have seen that on the internet.
Yeah.
Even though that's, like, a very niche thing.
No, I was like, wait a minute, but no, you said Normal Man. I'm like, oh, I
Is
know
that
what
the
you're
name
talking
of the character?
Yes,
Okay,
or,
good.
like
I'm
his
glad I
name
got
is
it
like
right.
or something.
But it's just like a random gag character.
Yeah, because he's normal.
Yeah, the whole joke is because you'd think like, oh, it's because he has a silly name like Bill Cipher.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like his, it's gonna be like this big plot thing.
Yeah, no, it's because like the normal guy is like
He's just
a normal
and like a side gag. It's only in like 30
he's the
seconds
most
of the
white
show.
bread character.
And he's like barely in the show, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but
Yeah.
that was just a
He
theory
will
I heard
appear,
about.
but
Okay.
yeah, no, that's the thing with Gravity Falls is like there's like little details everywhere that you can kind of like.
It's kind of like I haven't seen the show Pretty Little Liars, but like a
Yeah.
common thing that happened with that show is that they would set up like a who is A, right?
Yeah.
The central theme of the show. And people would read into so many little things.
Yeah, that's the show.
And they would get like completely different conspiracies based off of something that like had nothing and meaning at all, because the show has set up the fact that like you need to pay attention to all the nitty gritty details.
Yeah, that's kind of how the show is, because the biggest one, of course, is like even things that like you pointed, like you kind of mentioned in the title sequence at the end, that like flash at the end.
Yeah, I
like,
asked like, does that mean anything?
That means something towards the end of the show.
Sorry, I don't know if we can have dog barks in the...
He wants to say something.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to spook anybody who are afraid of dogs or anything, but
yeah, like one of the biggest things that you kind of come to find, because this is what Dipper's kind of looking for, is like the author of the journals, like who wrote them, because like here it says property of blank
and it's ripped. Yeah.
Oh, I should mention that I have Journal 3, so we're gonna be kind of referencing it. I'll be reading some of the entries.
Well, I don't think we can. This is an audio show only, so I don't think I can include pictures.
Oh,
but maybe if you want to like find a PDF somewhere online, or if you have the book, you can follow along with us.
Yeah.
So are we getting into it?
I was gonna say, like, I know enough about this show.
Enough.
Like, I didn't really follow it as closely as Shay did, but I know some things, mostly because we are the same.
We are the same.
We have been connected for too long.
Yes.
But yeah, I know certain things, like Steff. I know who Bill is. I know like certain things about the show that Steff doesn't, and I shouldn't say on the podcast until later. But I wasn't really in like the nitty gritty of it all like Shay was. Like, I had seen a lot of it in the background, of course, like in middle school and on the playground. I heard people talking about it, but of course, like growing up in like that time, I was kind of the same. I didn't know. Well, I guess like 2015-ish is when I really got on the internet, but I was mainly more on the YouTube parts of it and like fanfic.
Yeah, like
like other stuff.
Like me and my friend at the time were like really into the show, but we were a little bit more into like Steven Universe Undertale. So that's why I wasn't super nitty gritty in the fandom and the theories. I did consume a lot of the fan art though.
Yes,
that was a given.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this will be really fun for me to like finally watch this show and learn how it ends, because I feel like, sorry, I'm like out of breath.
Dog wrangler.
This has been one of the shows that I've been wanting to finish. Like every once in a while, I'll be like, I should really like figure out how that ends, because I really liked the episodes that I saw.
Yeah.
I feel like the last episode I saw was like the Summerween episode.
So that's like where the cutoff between the season ones.
Okay, like season 1A, season 1B. We can maybe call them like that in the podcast.
Yeah, because Summerween aired in October, of course.
Yeah, aired in
and then it picked up again.
So like I could
later.
fully believe that like after that break I stopped watching.
Yeah.
And I didn't pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me I'd mostly seen like if they were on TV, of course I'd watch them because I was a kid, like desperate for cartoons.
Yeah.
But I was more of like a Nickelodeon, like SpongeBob kid. Like Disney really didn't catch my attention until like now, pretty much.
That I've been ranting about it. Anyone will listen.
Osmosis.
We're gonna watch DComs after this. Hope you guys don't
Oh yeah.
don't mind.
But yeah, I've seen like I was saying before, I've seen like enough about the show. I think I had seen a few episodes of season 2, but I never really like followed from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So I know sparse things.
Do you know how it ends? Well, you don't have to say how it ends. Just say yes or no.
Well, not really.
Okay.
Like I probably have seen a little bit of stuff, but I don't know exactly how.
You can assume from the titles of the episode.
I can assume.
Like, I think I've mentioned the titles as weird.
I've
Weird
heard,
Mageddon.
Yeah. I've heard the titles before.
You could assume how it goes.
Yeah. I haven't seen it.
I have no idea. Like, does Grunkle Stan, like, just like, I don't know, is it like a theme park he opens? Weird Mageddon? Or does that have anything to do with Bill? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if Bill is just like some background. Well, if he has his own fucking book, then of course he's not just like a background side gag.
We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
see.
We won't talk about Bill yet because he's not even.
He's not even. That doesn't come till like way later.
Or like he's not even introduced in the show yet. It's like episode 4
Like
or something.
I was surprised with how late he was introduced. Considering, I'm just gonna say it. Well, no, never mind. Because I'm like, how much do I say about him?
No, that's okay. We just won't talk about Bill.
Okay.
We don't talk about Bill.
Yeah, but no, because I was rewatching random like pivotal episodes of the series the other day, and like I watched the one where Bill is introduced, and I was surprised with how late into the series it was, considering.
I don't think it'll be a spoiler if you say like the number of the episode if you remember it.
I don't remember the number. Hold on, let me see.
If it's like 17 or something.
No, it's no, it happens at the very end of season 1. He's introduced.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have seen Bill, so maybe
I have. Maybe you've seen that episode because it was just a big episode.
Yeah, they like advertised the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I know that. Oh, I do remember an episode. I guess since I'm recalling things, they're like in each other's dreams. Because it reminded me of an episode of American Dragon Jake Long, one of the best shows ever.
Yes.
Because they have a very similar
they're
plot.
going in their dreams.
Into their own minds or something.
Yeah, no, that's the episode he's introduced.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought he was in before,
No.
like talking to, what's his face, Gideon.
No, that all happens in one episode.
Okay, so then I have seen at least parts of
season 1.
the ending of season 1.
I would be surprised if like y'all have just like seen like episodes just like randomly because the air dates were super inconsistent. Because they weren't like they started out weekly episodes, but then it very much just became like a surprise.
Which is fine if you're like Friends, you know,
Yeah.
or like a show that has like a very loose plot.
Yeah.
I guess this show does have more of a Monster of the Week style structure.
It does, but it's actually surprisingly serialized considering everything.
You'd think that they would air it more like consistently. Again, the same thing with like Mabav, but you know,
Whatever.
Mabav had the opposite. Mabav had the opposite problem where they aired like all of the episodes within 2 weeks, like a new episode a day.
Yeah.
Which is why I had my conspiracy theory that a majority of people probably saw Mabav on Disney XD. Because they didn't really do the Halloween advertising with Mabav on Disney Channel because they aired it during Disney Channel summer. What a weird time to air a show like Mabav in Disney Channel summer.
Well, I mean, Gravity Falls did Summerween, but that was aired during Halloween.
Yeah, because the show canonically takes place during the summer.
Yeah.
So they wanted to do a Halloween episode, and they had to work around that.
Yeah. I love all this preamble we're doing.
I know, like we haven't actually talked about the episode yet,
So,
and we're like 40 minutes in to recording.
Iconic. Well, I don't think the rest of them will be like this long until we get to like super pivotal episodes.
Yeah.
But
we might. This is just like we were in housekeeping, and then now we're talking about the show.
Our relationship to the show.
Yeah. So we have some preamble.
Yeah.
It's funny because the first episode of the podcast ever was like 45 minutes.
Yeah, and it's got longer as
we're already at 45 minutes now.
We're certified yappers.
Yeah, well, if you have a podcast, you have to be a certified yapper.
You have to.
Or else it's like, why would anyone ever bother listening?
Yeah.
There's multiple podcasts I've tried to listen to where it's like a guy and he just like is silent for like 30 seconds in a row, and I'm like, dude, say some words.
Dude, you gotta fill in that silence.
Yeah. So
You'll
sorry if
never
we say
make it.
you'll never make it. Is that from Luke? From
Yeah.
You're never gonna make it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can remember quotes very well.
Okay.
Obviously.
That's good. Yeah. So yeah, we can actually start talking about the episode now. I mean,
well,
how much is there to talk about the episode? We'll see. The actual episode itself.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you'll know that they set up more than I know because I'm just like, well, it was a fun little story.
yes.
Yeah.
But maybe
It's very much the introduction, kind of establishing everything that's gonna
take place.
Yeah, establishing the main parts.
and establishing the characters.
Yeah.
Good
dynamic.
exposition episode, I must say.
Yeah, and it's still fun because they have like an arc
Yeah.
Yeah.
where there's like a character, you know.
They follow the triangle.
Yeah, the triangle.
The triangle.
Everything is triangles.
you can't see what I did. It's a sign language for lesbian, but I meant it as like a
What is this? What is cloth?
I don't know. How are we gonna format this? Because for the Mabab one, we had it down to like a science.
I think
We did episode review. We talked about bad jokes. We talked about fits. We can't exactly do that because it's like a cartoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. Well, we had like moments that we did, but we never had a time in the episode that we would do them.
Yeah.
We more of just like whenever we
Talked.
felt like it mentioned it.
Yeah.
So they were at different
Bet.
times throughout the.
Yeah.
I for
Well,
sure
that's
want to
kind of what I
do.
meant.
Maybe we could.
Mabel's.
I wanted to do Mabel's sweater of the week.
Yeah, we'll get that. We should actually talk about what happens in the episode.
Yeah, and then I also wanted to do, instead of, we can still call it bad joke section, but I wanted to call it maybe dated joke section.
Oh, for
yeah.
sure.
Because it's not like they're unfunny, it's just that they're
You can tell the
of a
show
time.
was made in the early 2010s.
That was what really stood out to me the first time I watched it recently, and this year in 2024.
Yeah. So this episode, the first episode, it's called Tourist Trapped.
Well,
And it's just kind of the premiere first
It's a good
episode.
title.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Tourist Trapped. Yeah.
it's a tourist trap that they're living in, and they're like trapped there because they have to stay there for the summer.
So basically, the episode starts out just kind of Dipper narrating it how.
And he's not going to narrate future episodes. Really.
No, he doesn't really narrate future episodes. Just sometimes if he's writing in the journal, that's when narration.
The narration
comes.
is just what he writes in the journal, essentially.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of like Jughead in Riverdale.
I mean,
Except it's a
sure.
little bit less lazy. Because that's the whole point. He's just exposition dubbing for Jughead. But I didn't really get that with Dipper.
Yeah, no. The main part for the narration in this is just him describing how they got in this situation.
Yeah,
They
Gravity Falls.
very much
Oregon.
did a cold open. They're running from the gnomes.
Yeah, you're probably wondering how I got in this
Here.
situation.
Record scratch.
Yeah, it's a kind of like that.
Yeah.
But they don't do the full on,
they should have.
Yeah.
I would have thought that would have been great.
Yeah.
You're
But yeah,
probably
no.
wondering how I got here.
Yeah. But no, it kind of just starts out like they're being chased by gnomes, and then it goes back in time, as a cold open does.
Yeah.
And Dipper just kind of explains how their parents sent them, kind of shipped them off, sent them to go stay with their great uncle Stan,
Uh-huh.
who's Dipper put it, turned his house into a tourist trap.
Grunkle.
They call him Grunkle, combined great uncle. And
He's a bit of a... We don't know much about him. I know we'll learn more about him as the show goes on.
Eventually.
he's a little bit of a mysterious character, but you can tell he cares. He kind of gives Mr. Krabs vibes at first.
Oh, yeah, he's very stingy, loves money.
Yeah.
He's, all about, he's running a Ponzi scheme for, a reason, you know?
Yeah.
But our name is getting better.
That's the next episode. That's the next episode.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh,
Sorry.
I remember that joke! Oh my
Butter
god.
Raven's getting
better.
Butter Raven's getting better.
So good.
Sorry, guys.
It's kind of like a punchline to a bad joke where you don't the beginning doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The setup.
Yeah, the set did not make
It's
sense.
so funny to me.
Yeah.
Butter Raven's getting better.
It's kind of like in that script I had to write for an assignment where I was like, I forgot what it was now. Where it was like,
Just left.
yeah, because it was like, oh man, never mind. Maybe I'll mention it. Maybe I'll think of it later.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Mabel's sweater. It'll be like,
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the kind of plot, I guess. Well, we
Yeah.
learn a lot about the twins. The main
yeah.
characters, Dipper and Mabel.
Yeah,
Pines.
Mabel is kind of how she's introduced is going through her boy crazy phase.
Mm-hmm.
So her main arc is her getting a boyfriend in this episode.
Yeah.
And then Dipper is very much
The shy one.
He's not shy. He's like Ethan in that sense.
Yeah.
There's this kind of like pragmatic, like kind of nerdy,
like inside guy.
Leader type is a very common, I think, archetype that they leaned on for Disney Channel.
Dipper thinks something is weird and going on in Gravity Falls, and no one believes him.
And so that's his main arc. He wants to find out.
And he kind of gives off like watch too many episodes of the X-Files that are like a pivotal moment in his life kind of energy. So like, he's just like a kid that's obsessed with ghosts. A lot of people because of like those ghost hunting shows.
I was genuinely like, as a kid, I wanted to be a paranormal investigator.
Ghost Adventures, Zach Bagans. Watch out, we're coming for you.
Like a lot of people were like really obsessed with like the supernatural. Like, it's real, and like, this silly little kid and his he's like, like his dinosaur phase or whatever.
That's very much how like Grunkle Stan treats Dipper, like just.
Yeah, like he capitalizes off of the quote unquote
explicitly. There we go.
Yeah, he like Grunkle Stan capitalizes off of the quote unquote like weird things going on,
making
in the
like
town.
fake like the little fake the Sasquatch and weird,
and he makes like
things.
Signs, and he tells Dipper like, "Oh, go put this in the creepy part of the forest." So he's like,
and that's what catalyzed Dipper to find a mysterious journal, because he's hammering the signs of the trees. Finds a metal tree.
Metal compartment.
What's that about? What would like a metal tree like? Is there like anything? Is that just like, am I reading too much into it to be like isn't that weird? There's a metal tree. Like
it's funny because like
they just kind of brush over it. Like, he found a metal tree. Like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
They found a metal tree with something inside.
Yeah, I think it helps that it was Dipper who found it, because he's already kind of on the side of like believing. Yeah. So he's like, curious.
This is
like confirmation for me.
This was going to happen anyways. Like, you kind of already believed it was true.
Yeah. And he found like a little receiver inside the tree, which opened a secret gate, which revealed a dusty journal.
With multiple fingers, more than 5, right?
More
6?
Than 5. Yes. 6 fingers.
He finds a dusty book with a hand with 6 fingers on it and the number 3 on the palm of the hand.
Yes. And he doesn't know who wrote it, because property of the page been ripped.
Mm-hmm. And it's a journal.
It is a journal.
And maybe we can read some of the, like you said, you wanted to read some of the stuff.
Do you want me to read the very first page that the original author book
the
wrote?
page that Dipper reads.
Okay. So it starts June 18th. It's hard to believe it's been 6 years since I began researching the strange and wondrous secrets of Gravity Falls, Oregon. In all my travels, never have I observed so many curious things. Gravity Falls is indeed a geographical oddity. But the strangest thing about this town is the question, why? Why? It's literally in all caps, just why?
Why?
I wonder, so I don't know who wrote this.
Yeah.
You guys do, right? Both of you? Or
I do.
I think so.
I do. Obviously.
If you want to whisper it, just...
I think I know.
It's like...
Yeah, say it to Shay.
Just...
Without me saying, I have my eyes closed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you guys both know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't know you knew that. Okay, that helps me so much.
Okay.
That's why I was like, I need you guys to communicate.
Yeah.
So I don't know who wrote this, and it'll be interesting to see who it is, because they seem to be talking like very intelligently and like not like a crazy loon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the biggest, like, I'll just say now, like, one of the biggest, like, mysteries kind of the show that went on that spawned a lot of fandom theories was who is the author of the journals. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of the fandom was with Dipper on trying to figure out who it is.
Yeah, that's kind of like the serialized element that, like, you don't need to follow. It's kind of like what like Jesse was and the whole Jesse's cult and and the Lucifractor in season 2 is kind of like there's hints of it, but also it's a lot less. It's a lot more obvious in this show. Like, here is a book written by a mystery person. Who wrote the book? Obviously, that's the question you're going to ask. There's a lot of mysteries in this show.
It's like, if there's, like, you know how we have, like, the A plot and the B plot? The journals and finding the authors...
It's the C through Z plot.
Yeah, it's like a runner plot, where it's a thing that's in the background of the episodes.
But there's still, like, that first and A and B plot.
Yeah, it's never actually its own plot. It's just, like, a side quest that, like, a certain character will focus on for an episode. Kind of like... I guess I'm going to give it an example with Victorious, because I'm me.
Yes.
That episode, Victorious, where Andre wants to get stung by a bee because he's never experienced it before. That's not like a plot line. It's just like a thing he does in the background. That's like a runner.
Yeah.
So it's like, it takes up like 3 minutes at most of screen time in each episode, but It may be sometimes more, but it's not an actual plot line.
Yeah. Like you said, like some episodes don't really mention like looking for the author at all. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, some episodes are like kind of centered around. It'll
turn it into an actual plot.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah.
Because I figure we do learn. When do we learn? Is it like at the beginning of season 2 or like? I don't.
It is season 2.
It's the beginning, like right at, or like in the middle.
Middle.
Okay, like during that like season break.
Yeah.
Okay. Mid-season break. Okay, that makes sense. Because like I had a feeling it wouldn't be like the finale. Which is why I mentioned it, because I'm like just knowing how like the show would be structured, it wouldn't. It
makes sense for it to be at the very end.
Yeah, because I feel like that wouldn't be as satisfying. Maybe that's just me though.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. So let's see. It continues to say, why is it that this one remote location houses more paranormal, alter average, and super unusual phenomena than any other location on Earth? There must be a hidden law of nature, a grand unified theory of weirdness, which is in quotes, which explains how everything in Gravity Falls is connected. My benefactors trust that I will use their grant money to discover something incredible, and I believe this theory could be it. My continuing mission: investigate the oddities of Gravity Falls, discover the grand unified theory of weirdness, and then publish theory, and then join the ranks of Newton, Tesla, Einstein, and the pantheon of science.
Well, there you go.
And then some of my recent investigations include, and that segues into a lot of his entries on the monsters.
Oh, and then like the little I like how the book is always going to be used in the episode, because there will be like a different journal log from this person about a supernatural thing that they've noticed.
Yeah.
In this episode, it's the gnomes
and the zombies, the undead,
and the zombies. Yeah, do the zombies come back again?
We do get a zombie episode. I will say,
where they actually find, because it's a mislead.
We do get a zombie episode in the future.
It's a pulling the tablecloth from the table. Kind of.
What is it called? Yeah, there's
pulling the rug.
It's a.
There's a phrase. I know the phrase.
There's a phrase for it. Where oh my gosh, we're all idiots. We're a TV show review podcast. We don't even bait and switch.
Switch. Yeah.
They bait you with the actual with what they think the answer is, and they switch it for what it actually is.
Someone tried. So not to segue, but someone at my work tried to be a Karen and say that we did a bait and switch because the price on something was wrong when it was different.
Tried to bait and switch me?
Yeah, she's like...
That's not how that works.
Yeah,
it just was mislabeled.
Yeah, because our tag, we hadn't updated the tag for something yet, and the lady's like, well, this is just a bait and switch, and my coworker's like, no?
That's not what that means.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I light a candle for ambiance?
Sure.
Yes.
And then also, like, on this first page, there's even a code. I'm pretty sure there's a code.
There's a code.
And that you can translate.
Yeah.
I didn't manually translate it, I just went to the wiki. But it says, I've been inside your mind, I know your secrets.
Oh, heck yeah.
So.
Wait, let me get closer to the microphone. Who would put that code in there?
There's a few reasons.
Is there another person who steals the book? I don't want you to answer that. I'm just like posing a question. Like, is there another person who possibly has taken the book and then has written codes in there?
Yeah.
Or are these codes written by the original author?
It's fun when you look at the codes because it really it's some of them because some of the codes that one sounds like there's someone else, right? But then there's others where it sounds like it comes from the author.
That's not gonna fall and set the house on fire.
I hope not.
I don't think so.
Maybe I'll put it on a higher shelf.
Yeah.
Ow, it's hot already. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, no, the bait and switch in this episode is that Dipper thinks that Mabel's dating a zombie. And he tries to show her the entry on the undead, but he opens it to the gnome page, which scares Mabel more than the zombie page.
I mean, that gnome is pretty spooky.
Yeah. He's very spooky.
Look at him. Look at those big old eyes.
Yeah.
What a weirdo. But yeah.
Did you want me to actually read the entries on the monsters, or?
Yeah, read a little segment. You don't have to read the whole thing, just some parts.
Just a little bit.
So the gnomes. This is the gnome page, since they're the actual real baddie of this episode. So it says, I encountered my first gnome when I awoke one morning and found it arguing politics with a stuffed bear head above my fireplace.
Nice.
They have shown themselves to be capable of an alarming ability to stack their little bodies into giant formations, so keeping my snacks on higher shelves has done nothing to stop the persistent nibbling. A gnome stole the author's glasses and ate two of the cassette tapes.
Gotta love cursive.
Yes. Just like information on their height. Mushrooms are a huge part of the gnome's life. Used for money? Question mark.
Is that come up later?
No, I don't
it's
think
just
so.
a side gag.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Several tried to kidnap me as an offering to the queen as I was sleeping, but I just drop-kicked them out the window when I awoke.
Nice.
Unsettling.
Interesting. So wait.
And then weakness, it was left blank by the original author, but Dipper crossed out and wrote leaf blowers because that's how they defeated the gnomes.
Yeah, and they brought up the leaf blower earlier when.
Yeah, Mabel was practicing kissing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the last thing that's on here is just like, I saw one taking a squirrel bath, which I wish I could unsee this.
Oh, the squirrel bath. Wait, they don't like hop in the river. They just like fill up a basin with water and like. Is that what a squirrel bath is?
Do you want to know what a squirrel bath is?
Yes.
Guess not. Okay.
Curious.
Because like the visual does come up in a later episode.
Oh, is it like they like lick themselves like a cat or something?
No.
Okay, go ahead and let me know then.
They are in a basin, but the basin is filled with squirrels just kind of running around the gnomes.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Isn't oh my god. The being thrown back in time.
Yeah. But yeah, and then there's the entry on the undead, which I'll just kind of read the description, which is, known for their pale skin and bad attitudes, these creatures are often mistaken for teenagers. Beware of Gravity Falls' nefarious zombies.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because Dipper thinks that the boyfriend's a zombie because his opening scene, if you will, his opening shot is Mabel's like, I'm going on a date. And Dipper's like, in the 30 minutes that I was gone, where he found the journal, he's like, you found a boyfriend already? And she's like, yes. And I don't, like, the doorbell's ringing, blah, blah, blah. She goes to answer the door. She brings him in, and he's like, in a shadow, in a dark hoodie, and he kind of looks like a vampire.
And
like,
he's framed the same way as like the picture and the drawing in the book is.
And so Dipper's like, oh my gosh, I have to save my sister.
I guess since zombies come up later, I'll just read this page, since zombies do come up later.
Yeah.
So many seem to be undead lumberjacks from the flood, but since they bite new victims when they rise each month, I have seen a zombie mailman, a zombie cop, and a zombie Boy Scout. I refuse to buy his cookies.
Nice.
And then it's kind of crossed out, so I'm not gonna... Whatever. So it's just like things like must stop them at all costs. It says their skulls are unbreakable. I cannot find a single weakness. I will watch my back at night and keep a shovel handy. Perhaps there is a non-physical way to defeat them.
Okay.
When Dipper was kind of thumbing through the journal when he first found it, he came across a page written in very just large font that says trust no one. So that's kind of what the rest of the page said. It said, unfortunately my suspicions have been confirmed. I'm being watched. I must hide this book before he finds it. Remember, in Gravity Falls there is no one you can trust. Trust no one. The odds that one of his agents, perhaps possessed, will access my research grow stronger. I fear my time is running out. So tired.
Wow, that sounds very spooky.
Spooky.
So Dipper kind of finds this journal, and he realizes that at a certain point, the author just stopped writing in it where he hid the book. Mm-hmm. And so Dipper ends up picking it up and creating his own entries.
Ew, Benny?
Is he
in the books.
Oh, is he like cleaning himself?
Yeah.
Gross.
But yeah, so it just kind of, I don't know how much of this you want me to read, because this...
No, we don't have to read his new entries, because a lot of it's like already said out loud in the
It'll come up later.
Yeah.
I can't find it, but I'd come across some spoilers. Some of them are so, like, I think so spoilery that I can't even tell that they're spoilers. So, like, I just don't, like...
Please block the tag.
I think I should. I think I really should.
Please block the tag.
I did before we started recording, so I'm already set.
I'll make sure I do it, because... In the sense that, like, I don't even know what it meant. I'm like, is that just, like, an OC, or is that somebody I've never seen before?
Oh, it could be okay.
So I'm like, that's what I just got into.
Because I know you mentioned, like, accidentally seeing a bit of a spoiler in, like, our Discord.
Yeah, well, just very recently, what happened is that I saw one, like, just a few days ago, and I was trying to find it on Tumblr, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
But it had something to do with a character that, like, I think is in the next episode. I can't remember now. So I wish I had the post. Maybe I'll read it out in post when I'm editing. But... It was like a joke where it's like, people are drawing fan art of this character? And I was like, they are? And then I just kind of moved on with my life.
Oh, okay. No. Oh, I know.
You can say it, because I just can't remember the name of the character.
McGucket?
Yeah. I was like, maybe they just think of him as like some like weird, scrunkly guy, you know?
He's a very weird, scrunkly guy.
Okay. That's all you need to say on him.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We're literally introduced to him next episode. You'll see how scrunkly he is.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, me too.
I don't even know anything about him, but I know I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan of the Band-Aid on his beard.
If McGucket has 0 fans, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Or if he has 1 fan, at least Cheyenne is alive, and I'm dead.
Yeah, it's one of us or
if he has 2 fans, we're both alive.
Yeah.
So let's get into sweater of the week.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So there's 2 this episode.
Yes. Is there more than? Is there usually just 1?
There's usually 1.
Usually 1.
But it's usually a different one every episode.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I love how her headbands coordinate with her outfit.
Yeah, it almost always matches her skirt.
Yeah, either her sweater or her skirt. Because I saw, I think, the pink one, and she always wears a pink headband with that.
Yeah.
But the scene where I think she's wearing the cat sweater, and she has a green skirt, and her headband is also green.
I love that. I noticed that
too. 10 out of 10.
She's a color coordinating queen.
I aspire to be her.
Yeah.
Like Rory with our color coordinated king.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Mabel's sweaters are so good.
They're so good.
So what was the first one?
The first one, it was a shooting star. It was a pink sweater with a shooting star on it.
Yeah,
okay,
her
cool.
main one.
Yeah.
And the other one was
There was the cat
a
one.
purple
one with cats
with a glittery
and
cat.
sparkling. Yeah.
I think there was a blue one.
In the episode, right?
Yeah.
There was another one. Oh yeah, because she changed.
Yeah, she changed.
Wait, let me see.
I remember it was like a light blue one. I don't remember what was on the front.
Because I remember the cat one, obviously, and I remember the shooting star
Because we
one.
got a close up on the cat one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The good thing the wiki has a list of Mabel sweaters.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
We love that.
I'm glad people are also obsessed with Mabel sweaters. I know this is a spoiler because we see it later on.
she does. There's a few.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So in the one where she was talking to one of the guys and pushed him into that photocard thing, it was like a peach one with like a little like pattern, just a zigzag pattern on it. And then the one with the, let me see, where she was like with the turtle guy.
Yes.
That was the blue one, and it has a white flower on it.
Okay. Yeah. In general, I like that. They did a good job.
Yeah.
Oh, I was referencing the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal.
We're referencing Gravity Falls, actually.
Yeah.
It's become a bit lately on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what episode it's from, but it's.
I know what episode it's from.
Yeah, pretty much. It's. You can always you can always disintegrate with me with water. Yeah. That's what I'm referencing.
Is there an episode where? Sorry, this is very random, out of topic. Is there an episode where Dipper becomes a puppet or something?
Yes.
He's like possessed by somebody. I don't know.
Oh, there are possession episodes.
Yes. Lots of possession episodes. Well, a few.
There are instances of possession.
Okay. Oh, and I was gonna say, even though this is kind of a spoiler, Craig, cover your ears.
Craig,
one of my favorite Mabel sweaters is the one where it has a bunch of lights in it, Christmas lights.
Yeah.
And she plugs it in. Yeah, it's pretty good.
The one in the title sequence when she's.
Yes. Okay, it's in the title sequence, right? Never mind, Craig.
Yeah.
You didn't have to cover your ears for that. You can fast.
Yeah. And then her pajamas have a floppy disk on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I kind of like that. It's very random.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of related because I think maybe like her dad or something worked in like tech.
And is there like? Oh, also they're twins. I don't think we've mentioned that yet. They're twins.
Oh yeah, they're twins.
They're 12-year-old twins.
Yeah, which is kind of like based off Alex Hirsch and his family because he has a twin sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of based it off of them.
Yeah, because like the whole basis of the show is actually like road trips. Him and his family would take up the Pacific like Northwest and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they would run into like these like silly like like tourist trap like.
Yeah, like the places. Like Grunkle Stan, I think I read was based on his grandpa Stan. So things like that.
That's nice. I was wondering. Oh man, what was I wondering?
While you remember what you were wondering.
Yeah.
We also get introduced to two kind of like side characters who come up a lot.
Yes, I haven't even talked about them yet.
Zeus and Wendy.
Yeah. Dipper explains it in the beginning, but they all kind of work there. Zeus and Wendy are the other two employees.
Yeah, like
for
Wendy
Grunkle's Stand.
tends to like be like a cashier sorta, and Zeus is like their handyman.
Yeah. He's just kind of doing things all over the place.
Yeah.
And Zeus is a little bit more eclectic, eccentric, even.
Yeah.
He believes all of the like things are real, all of the spooky conspiracy stuff, and Grunkle Stan likes to make fun of both of them when they like team up. I know that they do team up occasionally, right?
Yeah.
To do like investigations.
Yeah. Since this is the first episode, they're still not super familiar with each other, but you can kind of see how like Wendy, Zeus, Dipper, Mabel all start to like get close and be like a little family.
And then Wendy is like an older character.
Yeah, she's like she's a teenager. She's still in high school.
Yeah. Still a kid, but you know,
she's very chill.
The obvious like difference between like an early teen, like a tween, and like an actual teenager, very obvious between the two.
Yeah.
And I know that they'll do plot wise with that in the future with Wendy and Dipper and all that.
Bunch.
Which makes sense because that really does seem like a lesson or something that like Disney would love to teach, and like maybe they'll do it better than they did in Zach and Cody with Maddie and Zach. I don't know if you remember hearing me talk about that in my 2-hour video.
Yeah.
And with later on with Zach in London, I feel like that should have had its own section because I didn't realize it was happening until I was like actually editing the video.
Yeah.
That like they constantly paired them up, and I'm like, London's supposed to be in her mid-20s.
Oh.
What is she doing? What is she doing? Dating Zach, who's like 16.
You know what? I'll like, so we can rest easy. They do handle it better than that.
I know that for sure. They don't do that.
Yeah.
Or like in the episode with Zach and Maddie, where he's I think 13 and she's 16. Ooh. No, he's younger.
Ooh.
He's like
Brother.
The kind of plot line they set up is that like she has a crush on a guy who's 3 years older than her, so he's 18.
Yeah. Ooh.
And so she like confides with Carrie. She's like, I have a crush on this guy, and we have a 3-year age gap. And Zach thinks she's talking about him, but she's actually talking about this senior because she's a freshman. Yeah. And at the very end, he's like, good. Yeah, and at the very end, he's like, good job, kid. Like, he treats her like a child because she is one. And so she's like, oh, man, he just sees me as some dumb kid. And Zach is like, I feel the same way, too. And they, like, bond over it.
I feel the same way,
and they, like, have a romantic slow dance together, and which is weird. Like, they literally have the same height difference as Wendy and Dipper, where, like, he's, like, half the height of her.
It's like, girl, that is a middle schooler.
Yeah, and then too, he's not even in middle school yet, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I don't remember how old Dylan Sprouse was at the time, but she was 15.
I forgot. For some reason we were talking about Sweet Life on Deck.
Well, no, because they do another episode of Sweet Life on Deck, where he's in high school finally. He's a sophomore, and has to be, I think he's 15 and she's 18.
I forget in that, like, the Zach and Cody, the original one, they're literally just kids.
Yeah, they're like 10, I think, or 12 or something at the start of the show. I can't remember how old they were.
No, Dipper's 12.
Yeah, I think they're, So that's how old he is when that episode
and by
happens.
extension, Mabel.
Yeah, that's how old Zach is at the start of that episode. And then and on Deck, Maddie comes back, they bring her back, and they have the same age... Sorry for ranting about this.
It's okay.
But they have the same age gap as she did with the older guy in that one episode where he's 15 and she's 18, and they kiss.
Ew.
Versus the 18-year-old in that other episode when Maddie was 15, he's like, oh, you little scamp, and he like ruffles her hair like she's some like infant.
Maddie, did you learn nothing?
I know! It was so weird! Anyways.
Yeah, so Dipper and Mabel are 12.
Yeah.
Dipper actually points out that they'll be 13 by the end of the summer.
Okay.
Yeah. Wendy, I don't know if we get an exact age on her, but I think she's like probably like
about the same age gap,
16,
like 15, 16.
16, stuff like that.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
We have to get that on the soundboard.
Yeah.
Wait, speaking of the soundboard.
I'm sure you can find it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works. Wait, let's see if this works.
Cowabunga!
We're gonna have a lot of
Cowabunga.
We're gonna have a lot of Mabav soundboards, sound effects. Hope you don't mind, guys.
Yeah.
Just watch the show and then watch our episodes of the podcast if you haven't seen them yet.
Yeah.
It's a great show. It'll actually provide a lot of context, not only for this podcast, because I will reference it a lot, but also for like the energy and the kind of vibe that Gravity Falls had.
Yeah.
I would argue that Mabav had a lot more of a 2000s sense of humor because it was made by like boomers.
Yeah.
And It was kind of made more in that time period, even though it ended in 2012. Versus this will transition us into dated joke section.
Yes.
This show has an intense, like, Gen Xer 2010s, maybe even like millennial.
Yeah, trying to appeal like to the
vibe.
Tumblr millennials kind of.
Yeah, it
like,
has so many jokes that like
it's almost like there's like a sense you could feel the like lol like Steve Random.
yeah, it's very
humor.
I can has cheeseburger.com
Yes.
energy kind of jokes. And you
Yeah.
can tell that like maybe
a
the
grumpy
writers
cat
and
joke.
yeah, like the writers and Alex Hirsch and stuff were probably like looking at what's it called? Like
I think Alex Hirsch is a millennial. Hold
yeah,
on.
they were looking at what are those rage comics like
Yeah.
all the
Oh,
time on the
yeah.
internet. Like that's the kind of humor. No one says like "They're working at work today." Kind of I don't know what that was like the worst.
Yeah,
example.
Alex Hirsch is like an elder millennial.
Yeah.
So that makes complete sense that
Yeah.
like it has that exact energy. A lot of the jokes where it's like time to spill the beans and they knock over a physical can of beans and it's like
Yeah.
beans.
Or like
Very-
Zeus being like, I'm needed elsewhere, and then backing into the darkness.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
That literally looks is visually a lot like the scene of The Simpsons where he like
goes into the bush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Another one that stuck out to me, because I used to say it a lot as a kid, is butt face.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
that one feels like a mid-2010s joke to
Yeah.
me. Just because
Yeah.
that affected my life so personally.
Yeah.
The gnome vomiting up rainbows.
Oh,
yeah.
That's like literally like the
Nyan Cat.
the Nyan
Nyan
Cat
Cat.
and the like the Snapchat filter
yeah.
that would have that
Yeah,
exact
the
thing.
bleh.
Yeah. It's like very mid 2010s.
Yeah, it's like you're starting to see like that post Avengers quippiness come
Yes, that Joss Whedon type of
Yeah.
writing, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I've never seen, by the way. Stop fucking telling me about Buffy. Sorry, this is because I get like a comment every day on my bad video being like, this show actually is inspired a lot by Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It's like whatever.
And I'm like, I don't know, I haven't seen it. I say that in the video.
Be alone.
Anyways, I don't actually care. I'm just like
Yeah.
hamming it up for the bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
for the bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Joss Whedon is the one who wrote like the Avengers movies, the first one. At least.
Yeah.
So yeah, he
And
has
that's when
that.
we see like a cultural shift in like how comedy is written in shows and movies.
Like,
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
Dipper or like a character in the show actually say like, "Well, that just happened"?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if they
Yeah.
do say that.
like even like I don't know. It reads to me. It's like because Avengers was such a big thing, but the gnomes in the forest being like gnomes of the whatever forest assemble.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, definitely. I mean, literally, I think it was it Age of Ultron had just come out this same year that this
No, I think it was the original.
or original
Avengers.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay, Age of Ultron was 2 years later.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, like perfect example. Like literally, how Age of Ultron opens is like Captain America. No, it was Iron Man goes shit, and
Yeah.
Iron Man's like.
Language.
Yeah. Iron Man swears, and he's like, language. Did you really just say
That
language?
language.
Yeah, like, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man humor is what is being
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
really, really permeating into this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought of, I know the like show came out later, but another thing that the gnome thing reminded me of when they like formed was Voltron.
Oh yeah. Form Voltron.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think I said they were making like a gnome mech.
Yeah, so that could be another thing because like
When
yeah.
did the remake?
That
The
was
of Voltron?
reboot was like 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
like
after.
Yeah.
So did like all of like the Gravity Falls fans like convert?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean,
A lot of Gravity Falls fans were also Steven Universe fans.
Yeah.
We're also
okay, yeah, there
like,
was
Voltron
kind of like a
fans.
Cartoon Network kind of, even though Gravity Falls.
But like a bunch of the animated shows of the time, because the time period this in is like the kind of cartoon like renaissance
Yes.
of the 2010s.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that like
Adventure
it's-
Time had come out 2 years prior. Steven Universe was about to come out a year after this show premiered.
Gravity
Voltron
Falls.
came out later,
Yeah.
a few years later
She-Ra.
when it was ending.
She-Ra came out like 2018, so that was way
Yeah.
down the line.
Yeah.
You also had shows like Regular Show,
Yeah,
things like
a lot of what Cartoon Network was doing in general.
There's like
They-
Gumball, like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Gumball, yeah. So I was gonna make a Tumblr reference
Oh.
to like Super Hulock was like the children's animated television show version of it, like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, and Gravity Falls.
Oh,
yeah.
Was Adventure Time on Cartoon Network?
Yes.
Because I was going to do the three big children's networks as an example. So what would like a Nickelodeon
Nickelodeon
show?
wasn't doing much.
They weren't
After,
doing, like,
I know the 2000s and the 90s, they were really like with cartoons and all that, and like
Yeah,
Fairly
no,
Odd
by
Parents,
this-
SpongeBob. But afterwards,
Yeah, but this time I think they were
slacking.
focusing more on like live action because I
Yeah.
remember my friend was into like what was it, Henry Danger.
oh
Yeah.
that was
Well, they had
that was like
huge show.
2015. I think
Yeah.
It was
a
like
little later.
it was like
iCarly had just ended when this show.
Victorious.
Wait,
Yeah.
when did it?
Because Henry Danger, I remember that one. Was
I'm pretty
another
sure it was
big one.
2015 because if I remember
I
my
was-
iCarly lore, Sam and Cat ended in 2015, the same year that Henry Danger started.
Yeah.
They were supposed to air next to each other, but Sam and Cat got canceled.
And I was gonna be like,
literally and figure, like it literally got canceled and it got like canceled on the internet.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna be like, oh, The Loud House, but that didn't come out till like 2016.
Yeah, that's quite later on. I know, like around this time.
Yeah, they didn't
Like,
have a lot of like.
Yeah, like
Voltron and-
what Nickelodeon had going on in this time was like Sanjay and Craig.
There you
Yeah.
go. But no one fucking cared about that piece of
Yeah.
shit. So, no offense to Sanjay and Craig, but
No one
who the
cares.
fuck watched that?
My brother did.
Listen, okay, I watched episodes like everyone else because
Because it was
they
just
aired
like-
after episodes of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
So it'll just
Yeah.
like be on,
It
and
was
you're
just
like,
on.
well, it's the same as like fucking Brain Squeezers. Like, who the fuck watched that? Nobody. That's the thing that people don't understand about like being able to choose what you watch is that there's so much stuff I never would have seen ever, if I had to choose to watch it.
Like literally,
Yeah.
that's the entire reason I started watching iCarly. Because at first I just did not want to get into it.
Yeah.
I was a SpongeBob girly, but one day I was just literally playing in the living room with SpongeBob
It
on,
was just-
and
it
it
just
came on
aired.
after, and
Yeah.
I was just infatuated. I was like,
It's
Yeah.
kind of it's crazy. Yeah, like that's the main difference between streaming and cable is that like so many shows, because they were put on by the network at certain times, were just forcibly had eyeballs on them.
Yeah.
Like again, like if there was nothing on Cartoon Network or Disney Channel, then I guess I have to watch fucking Brain Squeezers or Sanjay and Craig.
Yeah.
Another show that came out a little before like Adventure Time regular show era was My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. That was a big one.
Okay, that's what I'm changing it to.
Yeah.
My Little Pony, because that was on
That was the Hub.
Yeah, My Little Pony.
Rest in peace.
The rest in peace, the Hub. She took him down with her. The Hub. So My Little Pony, Steven Universe,
and
Gravity
Gravity
Falls.
Falls.
There's my Super Hula because they're all different, but they probably all had the same somewhat.
If you include Adventure Time, you got the emo quartet.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the 21
That's
Pilots.
like those ones.
I can't believe that they were ever considered emo.
I know.
Anyways, that's for another episode.
We'll get into that another
21
time.
Pilots.
No, never. We'll never talk about 21 Pilots. Actually, let's edit this section out of the podcast.
We're gonna react to regional at best. Just chills.
Fucking chills when you mentioning that album. Is that the one?
It's the one with the baseball.
Yeah. Tune in for next episode where we talk about Vessel. I would kill myself before we talked about 21 Pilots on the podcast. Antonio's gonna be here in like 2 minutes. We have to stop.
No, he just has to force. We have to force him to listen to us. Yap.
Oh my god. He never responded to my text if he to bring any food, so I'm just assuming he didn't see it. I can
Next
pause,
episode, we dissect the entire song "Ode to Sleep."
but- Stop! Ode to Sleep. Hi. We're a 3-parter for Blurry Face. We're still on the 21 Pilots
Yeah.
bit.
Glad you guys had that one. I was gone.
A special episode. We go through the Trench Skills and Nicey Clancy lore because they're all connected.
Right. Apparently that's a thing. I don't know anything about it.
Neither do I.
Let me just update y'all on something so you remember. When this show was airing, or actually a little bit after, and like when the show was ending in like 2015, 2016, I definitely had a 21 Pilots t-shirt that I would wear to school.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
So,
So-
as
Yeah.
we try to forget that,
Your dark past.
my dark past.
But yeah, pretty much what I was saying before. Like those 4 shows definitely, like you said, Steff, they're different, but they all
and they have their own
people.
separate fandoms.
Yeah,
but like it was kind of a degree
all connected.
where like if you were a Gravity Falls fan, you would probably hear about Steven Universe maybe.
Yeah,
like it would just the people would be talking, not as intense as Super Hulock, where like you couldn't avoid the other 2 shows if you only liked one.
Yeah,
you probably could avoid them.
You could,
but it was definitely hard.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't as easy.
It's funny because like if you look at the Venn diagram of like Steven Universe fans, Gravity Falls fans, it's pretty okay. Steven Universe fans and Undertale fans, almost a perfect circle. No, I'm kidding.
So if I know nothing about Steven Universe, I mean, if I know nothing about Gravity Falls, I literally don't even know, like I don't even know that Steven Universe exists because I've never, and people keep telling me that it's bad and that I should never watch it.
Really?
Yeah, I hear a lot of talk about how people don't like Steven Universe.
I can see that.
I can see it, especially with the little extra they did called Steven Universe Future. A lot of people did not like where that took the show.
Yeah.
And
but
I know a lot
like
of
it. It's cute. It's a cute show about gay space rocks.
Yeah.
Like,
because I know a lot of people like during like cringe culture, because that was like kind of when it was airing, right? They were like, well, it's pastel and I there's probably more to it. Like the reason why people don't like the show, because obviously people are entitled to their opinions.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know anything about it, so I don't even know what the reason would be why people don't like it and why the reason why people would like it. Because I know I've avoided it very, very thoroughly throughout my life.
which is real.
That's valid.
I've been in the trenches.
So I'm glad we're talking about Gravity Falls, though.
Yes.
To get back on topic.
Yeah. No, Gravity Falls, very good show.
And I like that there's an actual plot, because I felt like there was a lot of mysteries in the show, and I have felt duped before in shows, and maybe that's just because I never got to finish them because the network like screwed them over.
Yeah.
But like I felt like shows that had a bunch of like fucking House of Anubis, for example. Where's the House of Anubis fans out, guys? Sabuna.
Sabuna. That is one we did consider.
Yeah, we were like did we actually consider reviewing all of House of Anubis?
Yeah, because we
did.
for April Fools, we did.
Well,
that
we
episode.
recorded the first of the double
we
length
should do
episode.
this.
Yeah.
But I think people had in the comments. There's a lot of people in the comments of that video because it was the video I released after my most popular video ever.
Yeah.
So that was probably like logistically not the best idea, like numbers wise. But who cares?
Who cares?
But
it's fake anyway.
there was a bunch of for that reason there was a bunch of people commenting on that video, and they were like, "No, you're not giving enough credit to House of Anubis. It actually does solve a lot of like lore, and it does like become very satisfying at the end." But because they probably just stopped giving a fuck about the show and they stopped airing it at normal times, I stopped watching it. The network can really like change whether people actually watch a show or not based on, what time slot they put it on.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry, joking. So
Make your old man noises.
Oh goodness, that was like too close to being a real old man noise. Like when I see like Aja! Oh my gosh.
The house shakes.
But what was I fucking? Oh yeah, because I never watched the show. I never finished the show. I was never aware that they solved all of the mysteries. So like, I think a lot of it, I was like, as I was watching the show, I was like, is there any like, is this just like a bunch of stuff to make me interested, and they're not going to solve any of it? It's just a bunch of red herrings. I don't know what's the point of that phrase, red herring.
I don't know.
Like,
I'm sure there's a reason.
Yeah. I'm like, is a lot of this plot just, like, not going to mean anything? Is it just mystery for mystery's sake and they're not going to solve it? Because I think there are some shows that do that.
Oh, for sure.
But,
speaking of Super Hulock, a lot of those shows.
what's it called?
Sherlock.
Yeah, for example. There's a good example. I've never watched Sherlock.
I've also never watched Sherlock, but I know too much about it.
Against my will.
Yeah. No, it's because I watch like Strange Eons and Sarah Zed. It's just required reading.
Yeah. But,
what's it called? Sherlock. It's almost like the lock at the end of the day.
So,
a lot of shows will do that when you're like, ooh, pay attention. You could solve this. You could figure this out.
Pretty Little Liars is another
Yeah.
example. Again, I haven't seen that show, but I've heard how it ends, and people talk about how it was very unsatisfying.
Yeah.
The way they,
This
quote unquote, solve the mystery.
Yeah. This one, like...
Actually, from what I've been told, actually does feel, like, conclusive, and all of the points that you're supposed to pay attention to do get resolved.
Yeah. Some of them are, like, fun little things. Like, for example, okay, like, I'll just say this, like, Gravity Falls is also a show you can, like, go back and rewatch, and honestly, you should.
Yes.
To, like, and you could, like, once you finished it, to go back and you notice a bunch of, like, little details.
Maybe that'll be fun, like, if I can remember to, like, make clips of all of the predictions I have in this throughout the podcast, and then at the finale we can, like, pick through my predictions and see how close I was.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah,
I can keep a list of it or something.
Yeah.
So that, or maybe we can do an episode where we, like, go back and, like, notice new things or whatever.
Like, a fun thing you might see come up a lot, and I think this is the reason, I'm almost certain this is the reason, but it could be something else, but I'm pretty sure this is the reason. You'll see the numbers 618 or 618 come up a lot, and that's just Alex Hirsch's and his sister's birthday.
Oh, okay.
So, like, this episode, it popped up on the cash register as the total being 618.
Wow. Or, like, in Lost, how there's, like, a serial number, essentially, that you have to follow.
Kinda, yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
No one knows anything about Lost, but...
But yeah, no, there's things, like, there's, like, even codes in, like, the title sequence and, like...
Yeah, at the very end, at the end credits, there's, like, a code at the end, right?
Yeah, at the end of every episode, there's a cryptogram, I believe they're called.
Okay, yeah.
And so this one was pretty mundane since it's the first episode.
If people noticed it.
Yeah.
So is there, like, a certain way you decipher it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's... I wish the fandom wiki was a usable website.
Oh, man, fandom wiki is just...
So yeah, it's a simple Caesar cipher.
Okay.
Which...
I don't know what that is, but, like, it's like it's like there's, like, a code.
Yeah, essentially the Caesar cipher is... Oh my, I wish this was a usable website.
It's like 20 ads trying to find some information.
Yeah, so just the Caesar ciphers using Gravity Falls substitute the original letter for the third letter before it. So A would be X, B would be Y, C would be Z, things like that.
Okay, it's like interesting.
Yeah, so the first one for Tourist Trapped at the very end is just Welcome to Gravity Falls.
Okay. But, like, are they going to get more, like, important as the show goes on? Do you know?
Let me see.
Like
they're usually kind of jokey, but...
Okay. But, like, they could be, like, mid-credit sequence, like, to go back to the Avengers, where, like, the mid-credit sequence, like, actually gives you, like, lore that you might want to know.
I'm
like, you don't need it, but, like, it does, like,
it just helps.
It's just, a lot of them, like, from when I'm looking, are just kind of, like, jokes and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's still cool. That's still fun. So, yeah, we'll point them out for each episode if we remember. We should, hopefully, you know.
Because, that's just the thing, where it's, like, the show very much wants you to kind of get involved with kind of solving the mystery or, like, making predictions and stuff.
Yeah.
Which could potentially segue us into prediction. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry, I hope you don't hear my
ear flaps.
His flap in his ears. Oh, you know, he's probably wants
food.
Well, we'll finish this up. We'll have to wrap it up.
Should we go to predictions
then?
so,
like, I guess since you already know what happens.
Yeah, I already know what happens, so I can't confirm nor deny anything.
Yeah.
But for predictions on our part, maybe, if you have any, I don't know if you do.
No. I don't think so.
Well, I guess I could say...
Because, I mean, at the end, because you were talking about, like, the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the items that they get.
Items?
The grappling hook.
Oh, yes! One of my predictions thank you for
will,
reminding me.
Yeah.
The grappling hook, I have a prediction that the grappling hook is going to come into play at the end, because I have no idea. And I really hope that,
grappling hook!
I think specifically I was like, I hope they die. But, like, they don't, because they get
Pines
saved.
The Twins die.
Like, I want them to be on the edge of a cliff or something. Or, like, I don't know, like some sort of Final Destination bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, where it's
and
like...
the grappling hook
Yeah,
comes
like
in
the Golden Gate Bridge is falling apart, and she uses her grappling hook to save Dipper's life. Something stupid like that.
Yeah.
I want that. I want something super dramatic, like in fucking Wreck-It Ralph. I want that to happen.
Falling into the volcano.
The grappling hook. Yeah, I want that.
And then Dipper gets his iconic hat with the pine tree on it.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of my predictions in the very beginning will be kind of spoilery, so I'm going to stay quiet for a little bit until I don't know.
Oh, I think Antonio's here. He just messaged me.
He's going to have to put up with us finishing this episode.
Well, we'll just be done now. We're at the end anyways.
Okay.
So I guess that's all we have to say, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Because it's just the first episode, so there's not much...
Well, we said plenty, I think.
Yeah,
think,
we yeah.
We definitely yeah.
yeah, and we analyzed elements of the show as
Yeah.
well. So I think we're doing okay.
A good pilot ep for our new season.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
want to continue the rankings?
We could.
Where we do like 5 out of 5 somethings.
Ooh, we
Ooh,
could.
we could.
You know, like I think. I mean, does anyone want to go first for the ranking?
Well, I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can I get a?
Gotta collect my thoughts real quick. It was a good. I really liked a lot of the style of the show is very like nostalgic. So I think that's like my favorite part about it. The animation and everything like just brings me back. Reminds me of how old I am.
And I think, like in general, I think the show was trying to evoke a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Very much like remember taking road trips, kiddos.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you are that age and if you're
Yeah.
older, you can like remember when you were that age.
Yeah. Remember being 12.
Whether or not you watched the show when you actually were 12 or not.
Yeah. But I would say very good pilot.
I hope it didn't pick up my phone buzzing.
Oh, that's okay.
We'll figure that out. But yeah, very very good pilot episode. A lot of what is it? Exposition.
Yeah.
Let me try that again. Exposition.
Mhm.
Exposition.
Exposition. Sorry, we're not making fun of you.
No, I was making fun of myself. It's fine. But no, it explains a lot that you need to know, and I really enjoyed it. I have to think of what I have to rank it now. Well, of course, I think it's gonna be at least like for a pilot episode, I'm gonna give it probably like a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 what?
I know that's what I have to think about.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 what?
4 out of 5 shovels.
For beating up gnomes.
Yeah, for beating up gnomes.
For zombies.
Oh yeah,
zombies.
zombies. It was zombies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You can go next, yeah.
Okay, so I am very biased. I love the show a lot.
Mhm.
We're just. And you guys,
notice
You
that,
can't
sorry.
see it, but we're like swaying back
Yeah.
and forth.
yeah, no, I love the show a lot. I did rewatch this episode before we watched it for the podcast,
Yeah.
so I kind of knew what to expect. I forgot that very last part with Stan was in it,
Mm-hmm.
which okay, I see what you're doing, Alex. Yeah.
Oh yes, where he walks into the vending machine.
Yeah, he walks
Yeah.
into the vending machine. But yeah, like Sal said, it was like a very nostalgic show for me because I watched it, or like season 1 while it was airing, and then season 2 I caught up on right when the show was ending. And it's just a pretty solid pilot episode that just kind of introduces you to what's going to be happening, or like the setup. So I'm probably going to do like 4 out of 5 schmebulocks.
Ooh, 4 out of 5 schmebulocks. Okay. Minnie, you really want your pizza.
I know. I see him looking at it.
Yeah. So I'm quite a fan. Personally, I'm a very big fan of this show, and I think this is a really fun episode. Again, I think the jokes are very of their time, and I think to me it's adding to the charm. But I could see someone in the modern day feeling like it's just a bit like humorly inclined, I guess, or what's the word? It's just not as funny maybe as it could have been for younger people or people back in the day.
And some people might view it and see it as cringe, but cringe is dead.
Yeah, I don't think it's cringy at all. I think it's very charming. It has a specific charm to it, for sure. And I guess we didn't mention it at the beginning, but I loved the animation style, I noticed.
Yeah.
I like how round everything is. I love the backgrounds. I think I mentioned that when we're watching it. The backgrounds, even though they're pretty simple, they still look really good.
Even with the golf cart too, like
Man,
the way it's like drawn over CGI.
Yeah.
Don't
probably.
tempt me. I'll go full animation student on this show.
We could do that later
Yeah.
as we
We'll
get
do
into
it
the series. Yeah, especially with some of the more unique elements, I'm
yeah.
assuming. Because I'm assuming there's some cool supernatural stuff they do.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah, there's one villain in particular there's 2 that come to mind where they have like very unique like styles.
Ooh, okay, cool. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the episode. I liked the gnomes. I liked how they were like a very silly foe. You
I
know?
like the bait and switch.
Yeah, good bait and switch.
Yeah.
So overall, I think I'm gonna give it a either 3.5 or 4 out of 5 Seuss's.
Nice. Yeah.
I guess that's all.
Uh-huh.
So thank you for listening to
Yeah.
the Vampy Wampy Campy Podcast. Feel free to rate it on Spotify.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Or give us a like, or feel free to dislike
Give
it.
us a lampy.
Yeah.
Lampy, subscribey, dislampy, or if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just hate our guts.
Quampy and Ampy, leave us some questions and
Crampies and ampies.
For
And
us
we
to
will
ampy. on the podcast Tumblr, I'll repeat it, Vampy Wampy Campy Podcast.tumblr.com.
Yeah.
You can send us some asks there, or just leave comments below in the comment section. I'll try to sift through them.
Yeah.
And we don't get many comments anyways.
Yeah.
There's not much to sift through,
just
but
fine.
it'd be fun, to get some questions down there.
Yeah.
And
We're entering a new era.
new season. Is
New season.
this season 1 of Gravity Falls, but season 3 technically
Yeah.
of the podcast?
Yeah.
It's gonna get, I might get confusing, but
Yeah.
yeah. we're in season 3, so we're bringing the big energy.
Woo, big energy, especially in this outro.
Oh yeah.
All our voices are gone. I don't want to spoil it, but we did watch Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
Yeah.
And screamed a lot.
I did most of the screaming.
It was something.
Yeah.
It was the most movie to ever movie.
Yeah.
It was
I would
quite the
say.
movie.
What I love about it is that it feels like a real movie. Like what Harry Styles said.
Yeah.
So, what did we say about what's it called?
We gotta put out.
Smokey the Bear.
Yeah, we gotta put
Oh,
out. You gotta
yes,
put out
yes.
your fires.
Make sure to put out your fire and
Or
take down
take
your
down your
tent,
tent.
or else Smokey the Bear.
is going to
Turn into a gnome
Yeah.
neck.
Yes.
turn into
Attack
turn into a
and
nomad.
throw gnomes at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You gotta
So,
suck 'em up
be
with that
ready.
leaf blower.
be ready. Yeah. Let's talk about the leaf blower. Late.
Late.
That's from another random reference. Why do
Yeah.
we say lates again?
It's because Erica says
Oh,
late.
Right. She said that in one episode.
Yeah, she said
was-
that in I think one of the first ones.
Yeah, she was like late and she hangs up.
Lates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Late.
okay, we did it.